is there anything we can say about Christmas and finances? Is there anything that Christmas has to do na pesa, money? And yeah, I guess there must. Of course, the first Christmas was spent in a lot of poverty. It was a birth in a manger. Nothing big, nothing auspicious, just shepherds there, and angels. Oh, and there were 3 kings who came to visit. But now in our current day, what would you say about Christmas and finances?
And I'm looking at actually this newspaper, and there is this article here. I don't know if you can see it. How middle class show-offs end up with empty wallets in January. You know, eager to impress their village folk, some splurge huge amounts of money that at times is borrowed.
Watu wa Nairobi?
Watu wa Nairobi. Okay, so there is that part, and I think one of the biggest temptation at the moment is what do you want to spend though? Your friends are spending money, people are going for holidays, they're buying stuff that you feel you cannot afford. And I think it can be quite the temptation to feel like, am I really celebrating Christmas? And I'm not buying that thing that I wanted, or buying that meal, or thinking that I'm actually celebrating Christmas because I'm doing all this stuff.
Actually, yeah, that's true. I like that. You said, I'm thinking that I'm celebrating Christmas. So maybe this might even lead us to ask, what is really Christmas for us?
Right.
You know, as we go into Christmas, how much money do you really need to celebrate Christmas for what it is? Yeah.
How much money do you need to celebrate Christ?
Do you need any?
It's a good question.
Yeah. So because that was a very good point, that you think by celebrating Christmas is to go to the coast, is to travel up country, is to buy expensive new clothes, is to, I don't know, buy the car that you have been dreaming of the whole year to buy in December. What do we really need to celebrate Christmas? And I don't think you need a lot of cash for it.
Right.
Of course, you wouldn't. It may not be appropriate to say, oh, you don't need money, because, well, it would be good to have a change, maybe a different diet, you know, something special, something nice, but it doesn't have to be very extravagant.
In fact, I'm doing the same as a father. I understand that. You know, as a Catholic, I know maybe I go for the Christmas Eve Mass, and you know, I've gone for the sacraments of confession, communion if I can.
True.
Sasa nisikuchapa sherehe yake yote, kwani what else is there?
Sasa, so unajua in January iko na hapa inakuja.
Sasa lazima ungesema.
Na watoto wanarudi shule.
Sema ikutoke.
You know, akiota niseme ilitoka. You know, na naona ni kama unaingilia kazi ya Profesa Hamu pia. Ingilia pesa kazi ya Hamu pia. So January is coming, and I guess maybe for singles it would be good. I think in part of Christmas is being honest with yourself and where you are. Yeah.
Knowing your limits.
Knowing your limits.
And knowing how much you have. Knowing what you need to start, your expenditure from January and going forward, so that you don't, use all that money in share and celebration.
Indeed,
you know? So that's a good idea to actually budget. I think that's a very important word.
Actually, budget. Yes.
Budget.
Take
how
account.
Much you want to spend.
Yes. How much you're willing and able to spend. Yeah. Without going into loans.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think it would be right to celebrate Christmas, whether with a family or alone. With a loan.
There is the whole idea of living, living within your means.
Yes.
Some people would say even live under your means.
Yes. You know? That's actually the best. Live under your means. Right. So it means that you'll always have something to save us for any day.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Because living within your means if I have 1,000 shillings, I'm using all the 1,000 shillings. But sometimes live under. To me, 500. Save your 500 for something.
We used to live in a community of priests, and they told us that sometime before they would save 1,000 shillings. I think it was 1,000 or 500 every day or something of that sort. So they would calculate every week. So like they say it's 500 per day. Then at the end of the week you're supposed to give whoever it is 3,500, because it's 7 times 5.
Correct.
And then you give. By December you have very good money. You don't struggle to take a holiday or to do something nice for you, because there is that, there's that pressure, and I guess even the overspending comes from the pressure of family. You're going home, you've not been home in like 3 or 4 months, you want to buy a mbuzi for your parents. Maybe it's even your turn. Last year was your brother, The other year was I don't know your uncle.
Yeah.
Now this is supposed to be unauna do. Sasa ufanye nini?
Unachukua loan ya kununua mbuzi.
Kununua mbuzi ya kupigia watu sherehe. You know. So there are these pressures. Wife ndo huyo. Amekuwa akilongia kale kanguo kasafi. You know.
Unajua hii story father?
Watu wengine watu wanakuja hapa story. Unasikia tu the grumbles. The thing is, it may not be obvious that you don't have money.
Correct.
You see. So it even happens as in preparations for marriage, for harusi. So the wife has expectation for like a 40,000 dress, but the man is struggling. Maybe he's into some investments that he didn't tell the wife. Maybe he's even lost a job. Amefutwa kazi na hana hiyo courage ya kuambia wife, man, siko job.
In fact, there have been stories of men who wake up in the morning after having lost their jobs, and they just dress up and they act like they have a job still.
Yeah.
And they go and
for a long time, yeah.
Go and sit on a stage somewhere. Or
I think Papa Shirandula was acting that kind of a scenario, yes, where he wears a suit as if he's going to an office.
Yeah.
Akifika hapo nje anatoa suti, anavaa baiskeli kaba.
Bas.
Naingia wochi. So yeah, it's true. So it could happen that Christmas, some family may have expectations. Your daughter who just finished class 8, you promised her something, a very expensive smartphone. You don't have money.
Right.
Kuna deal ulikuwa na expect. You promised when you knew there's a deal inaiva. Ndio hiyo mwaka imeruka, gava ijalipa.
Correct.
So ndio hii Christmas imefika. So there are pressures that could make somebody overspend.
Now, here, on that, I think therefore then transparency becomes very important, especially if you're in a relationship.
Yes.
Wambie tu kimeumana, and for them to also learn that life is not always like
that's also true. You know, there's a statement that I read. He says, I love this short, brief quotes because they carry a lot of weight information in a very. It says, don't wait until you're perfect to inspire others. Right. Let others be inspired with how you deal with your imperfections. So what you said, it's important even for children to know kumbe kinaumanaga kwa familia. You know.
So parents don't need to blame themselves or treat themselves so harshly. If they had promised something to their children, and now they have to see to explain them that I cannot afford that thing, and for very good reasons.
And even sons and daughters,
yes,
two parents.
Correct. Like to tell your parents, by the way, oh, yeah, that's a very good point.
Ocha, you know, they in the village there, they know their son is in Nairobi, is a big shot. Na ni kweli ni big shot, lakini hata big shot kuna siku yake. Kila nyani siku yake. So this December is not as always. It's been the last 5 years I've always done something. This year may not look too good. We may not do as much as we did.
Correct.
But we can do maybe something different but nice.
Yeah.
You know?
So transparency seems to me to be very important. To be honest with your limits. Be honest with your limits with your partner, with your children, with your parents, whoever you're expecting. Don't go to the village once sasa ni kufurahisha watu, your old classmates, unaanza sasa kununulia pombe.
Watoka Nairobi na mizinga, buti imejaa.
Kabisa. And even when you speak of joint accounts, especially when it comes to, transparency, there's the account we say yours, mine, mine, yours, ours. Okay? So to agree, you and your wife, you and your husband, you muna agree, okay, this money first of all comes to the joint account. And then from that joint account, it goes to you have yours.
Yes.
You know?
The money comes to the joint account first?
Yes.
And then from the joint account is when you decide sasa wewe ngapi, huyu ngapi. Sio the other way around.
No.
Sio inaenda kwako alafu inaingia kwetu.
No. That's not how joint account should work. Healthy joint accounts for couples should be the money comes to the joint account.
Then you agree.
And the joint account now pays you.
Wow.
Each of you.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I've never heard that.
Yes, that's how it works, because usually then what happens is one is bringing more than the other. So it becomes more of a competition. But whether you're making $1 million, I'm making 100,000,
it's
the
ours.
money comes to us. We pay our debt, we pay our whatever
That's
it needs
amazing.
to do.
I like
plan
that.
our budget, and then now shika your 100,000, you do what you have to do. So it's very, very.
And then it pays the house bills. It pays. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a very nice. That's a very nice one.
But now the problem in Kenya, and I don't know if you've seen this as I'm sure couples come to you. There is a lot of couples tend to keep money from each other.
Yes.
You know? Money from each other. Hapana, pesa yangu father.
Yangu ni yangu.
Yangu ni yangu. Yeye ashughulikie.
Wewe kazi yako ni kulipa nyumba na chakula. Na yeye kazi yake anasema ni kufanya 1 2 3. So long as you're doing that, I don't mind how you're doing. And so long as I do that, I don't mind whether your side how you're making ends. I've seen that, yes.
Right, but it's all our duties, isn't it?
It's true. Actually, that one of and it works best for a marriage. There is this Jordan Peterson. Yeah, he says that talking about couples, that whenever there was a situation of broken trust in whatever aspect, so maybe you find that the wife had investments that you never knew about, because that's often the case. Or the man had also invested or done things, they paid for education of the siblings and things, but you don't know where that money is coming from. There's always that question, how did I allow this? Much as this person is the responsible for breaking trust, I am also responsible, the other person is also responsible in what did I do or fail to do? What boundaries did I have? What questions did I not ask when I needed to ask questions? And he says that if you interrogate, and unless you do that, you don't solve it.
You're right.
Because then you leave a room where the same may happen again.
Absolutely.
You know, so the person must ask themselves, in what way in my conduct, or my personality is non-confrontational. So I never want to ask questions. I don't know how, the person may not know how to ask questions that create a rift. Yeah. So then things just go under carpets until they blow over. Yeah. So
in a relationship, when trust is broken, it's very, very difficult for that relationship to stand. Whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a relationship between a priest and his bishop, there has to be an element of trust.
Even two priests living together in the same house, me and Father Martin.
Yeah, right. But two friends, like trust becomes so essential. Right? And the marital therapists will say that finances are one of the big core things that bring down. So there is in-laws. How you deal with in-laws matters. Religion, how you share beliefs or you don't share matters.
Matters, yes.
Then he speaks about sex, how you agree on matters of sexuality, sex and all that. And then finances. They make or break relationships. And so I think what we are suggesting in this episode therefore is, if I miss something, let me know. So number one is live under your means.
Yes, live as much as possible under your means.
Under your means. Yes. Number two is budget. Okay, and stick to that budget.
Yes, budget.
Okay, budget and stick to that budget. I think that's very important. When you speak about the importance of transparency and accountability, okay,
and honesty with each other.
Yes. Telling your parents, I can't be able to afford what I had promised,
or whoever other party, even your priest.
Yes. Or even your priest.
Yes. I've always done this, but man, siku zuri. Hata sema nahitaji kuja siku zuri.
That is true. That is true. To know your limits. Yes. And that means try to avoid comparing yourself. How they are.
That's also very big. Yeah, try not to compare yourself with others, what others are doing. Because the people who tell me, Father, this time we are not even traveling because things are not good. We'll go to church, after church, maybe we do something, we go for a drive, even, just a drive together as a family.
Yeah,
something simple, fun, good. Yes.
Simplicity. And what Christmas is about is Christ.
Yes.
And for us Catholics, because we are assuming that most of us listening to this podcast are
Catholics,
and let us not forget at the end of the day, if you end up doing everything else but forgetting Christ,
go to Mass, yes.
You have not celebrated.
Actually, as you look for a holiday destination, it would be good to identify a church in that place where you will be, that you can attend a certain Christmas Mass. It's really important. Otherwise, there's no Christmas without Christ. So it's important to begin Christmas with Christ.
Whether you are poor or rich, you can celebrate Christ.
Whether you're poor or rich, you can celebrate Christ. Whether joy does not cost much. No. And happiness may not cost much. Yes. Yeah. So,
great.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dom. Wonderful insights.
Please remember Christ at the center of Christmas. Not happy holidays. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's about Christ.
Yes. Afadhali Mary and Joseph Christmas.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Merry Christmas.